I'll be honest, this is the kind of NASCAR story that feels like it should be simple, and somehow it isn't. 23XI Racing just pulled off one of the biggest starts this sport has ever seen. But instead of everybody talking only about history, a big chunk of the conversation has already turned into suspicion, conspiracy chatter, and the idea that Tyler Reddick's 3-race streak somehow came too perfectly, too quickly, and too soon after Michael Jordan's team settled its ugly legal fight with NASCAR. So that is the real story today. The narrative that 23XI's three-peat looks gifted to some frustrated fans. In this video, we're going to walk through what Tyler Reddick actually accomplished at COTA, what records he just smashed, what he said after holding off Shane van Gisbergen, how Michael Jordan reacted, why Kurt Busch was so fired up for the number 45 team, and then the bigger tension hanging over all of it. The background matters, because this did not come out of nowhere. Reddick opened 2026 by winning the Daytona 500, then backed it up by winning at Atlanta, and on Sunday, March 1st, he went to Circuit of the Americas and did the one thing nobody in Cup history had ever done before. He won the first 3 races of a season. NASCAR's own race report notes that he had already become just the 6th driver to win the first 2 races the week before, and then at COTA, he separated himself from every name in the record book by becoming the only driver ever to go 3 for 3 to start a Cup season. And this wasn't some lucky fuel mileage steal or a weird caution break that dropped the race into his lap. Reddick started from the pole, led a race-high 58 of 95 laps, and won his 11th career Cup race by 3.944 seconds. That is domination, not survival. He also did it at a place where the man chasing him late, Shane van Gisbergen, had built a reputation as the road course standard. SVG came into COTA trying to tie Jeff Gordon's Cup mark with a 6th straight road course win, and instead, Reddick beat him straight up on the only Cup road course SVG still hasn't won. Reddick's own reaction made it clear how much this one meant. He called it a world-class moment for himself and 23XI, and the bigger point in his comments was that this was especially satisfying because the team had been tired of getting outrun on road courses. He also made it clear the final laps were mentally exhausting because the one guy he did not want looming in the mirrors at a road course was van Gisbergen. Reddick said he knew SVG does not make many mistakes, and his whole job late was to manage the gap, stay clean, and avoid giving him a shot. That tells you everything. The number 45 team knew exactly who was behind them, and they still closed it out. That is also why the records broken part of this story is bigger than just one flashy stat. Yes, the headline record is the obvious one, first driver in Cup history to win the first 3 races of a season. But the broader picture is that Reddick has now turned a winless 2025 into the hottest opening stretch in the sport, and Fox's race recap noted that 23XI also became the first team to win the opening 3 races of a season since Petty Enterprises did it in 1963. That is serious company. When your run starts getting compared to names and organizations like that, the conversation naturally gets louder, both from people celebrating it and from people who cannot quite believe what they're seeing. Michael Jordan only added to that spotlight. After the race, Jordan delivered the line that everybody immediately clipped and ran with. It's time for change. But the full point behind that line was not some public breakup with NASCAR or a threat to leave the sport. It was Jordan saying this moment feels like a shift for his team, for the way 23XI is viewed, and maybe for the competitive order in the Cup garage. Jordan's longer comments are what really tell you where 23XI's head is right now. He credited Denny Hamlin as the mastermind behind putting this thing together, and he downplayed his own role by saying he is the competitor who put up the money while Hamlin helped identify the driver and build the group around him. That matters, because it frames this run as the product of a team vision, not some out-of-nowhere heater that even the owners cannot explain. Jordan has also reportedly said he plans to be in Phoenix next weekend, as Reddick goes for 4 in a row, which tells you this streak is changing his weekly presence too. 23XI is not shrinking from the moment, it is leaning into it. Kurt Busch's reaction hit from a different angle, and honestly, it may be the most emotionally telling one. Busch, who used to drive the number 45 before his concussion-forced retirement, publicly congratulated Reddick, Denny, MJ, Billy Scott, and the entire 23XI operation, saying he could not be more proud and calling it history. That matters because Kurt knows exactly what that car means inside that organization. He helped establish the number 45's early identity, and now he is watching the driver who replaced him turn it into the center of the sport. Now let's get to the part that is driving the headline angle, because this is where the whole done with NASCAR feeling really comes from. A segment of the online conversation has moved fast from celebration to suspicion. The chatter, as reported Monday, includes social posts, message board comments, and talk radio style reactions suggesting that because 23XI and Front Row settled their antitrust fight with NASCAR in December, maybe there were extra benefits beyond the formal settlement. That is the conspiracy version of the story, that Michael Jordan's team fought NASCAR, reached peace, and now suddenly cannot stop winning. That theory is out there. It is being repeated, and it is also, at this point, just that, a theory pushed by detractors, not a supported fact. In fact, the strongest evidence against the conspiracy angle is sitting right in the race itself. First, NASCAR's official report says post-race inspection found no issues, so there was no technical irregularity found on the winning car. Second, Van Gisbergen himself, the guy who had the most reason to complain if something felt off, did the opposite. He said Reddick was amazing, said the number 45 was very good, and explained that his own team simply lacked a little bit of turn and a little bit of drive. If there was a stolen feel for some fans, it came from emotion and timing, not from anything concrete in the box score. That said, I do understand why some fans are uneasy, even if the theory itself does not hold up. The timing is impossible to ignore. Front Office Sports noted that 2311's surge comes only a few months after the team and Front Row settled their antitrust fight with NASCAR, ending a battle that had hung over the sport since 2024. In sports, whenever a legal battle ends, power shifts, and then one side starts winning immediately. People will connect dots, even when the dots should not be connected. There is another layer here too, whether NASCAR itself can benefit from this. Front Office Sports argued that the sport is getting its biggest dose yet of Michael Jordan, the team owner, and that part is real. Jordan's visibility is higher, 2311 is now the lead storyline, but the business bump is still mixed. The Daytona 500 drew 7.5 million viewers, which was up 11% from the weather-impacted 2025 version, while Atlanta averaged 4.5 million, down 2% year over year. So the attention is very real, but the rating surge is not automatic, at least not yet. Jordan brings headlines. Whether that becomes a sustained audience lift is still an open question. And while the top of the sport now belongs entirely to Reddick, the rest of the field is telling its own story. The updated Cup standings after COTA show exactly how quickly this format can create separation. Reddick leaves Austin with 186 points and a massive 70-point lead over teammate Bubba Wallace at 116. Chase Elliott sits third at 114. Ryan Blaney is fourth at 100, and SVG jumped all the way to fifth with 90, tied on points with Joey Logano. Then come Daniel Suarez at 87, AJ Allmendinger at 86, Michael McDowell at 83, and Carson Hocevar at 82. Further down, Denny Hamlin is only 23rd with 60, Christopher Bell is 24th with 59, Connor Zilisch is 32nd with 37 after a rough opening 3 weeks, and Alex Bowman sits 36th with 23. Under the new format, Motorsport.com notes wins are worth 20 extra points over second, and right now, Reddick is cashing in on that harder than anyone ever has after 3 races. That Zilisch part matters too, because COTA was not all sunshine outside the 2311 camp. The rookie showed real pace again and still finished only 14th after getting turned around twice in turn 1 trouble. He said it felt like one of the best races he has ever driven, which is an incredible thing to say after a result that left him frustrated. That is how weird COTA was. Reddick looked untouchable at the front, while talented drivers behind him kept getting their days scrambled by chaos, restarts, and contact. So where does all of this leave 2311? Not done with NASCAR in the literal sense, not walking away, not turning its back on the sport. If anything, it is the opposite. But it does feel like 2311 is reaching the point where it may be done apologizing for winning, done explaining why a fast car is fast, and done pretending every big result has to come with a disclaimer. Reddick has earned this start on track. Jordan is embracing the spotlight. The number 45 passed inspection. The driver who finished second praised the winner, and the standings now scream that this is not a fluke. The only real question now is whether the garage answers in Phoenix. Can anybody stop Reddick before this turns from historic start into outright early season stranglehold, or does the noise around 2311 get even louder if the number 45 somehow wins again? That is what makes this fun. Let me know what you think. Is this just a dominant team finally cashing in, or do you think the backlash around 2311 is only going to get bigger from here? And if you want more NASCAR breakdowns like this, hit like, subscribe, and stay with NASCAR Central.